I have had the Galaxy S24 for 38 days, and today I'm going to walk you through a literal day in the life with this phone and let you know whether or not the battery have gotten worse over the time. When I first got the Galaxy S24, during my initial few days, I did manage to squeeze 24 hours of battery life on this phone, but on day 38, things are a little bit different. So I started my day at 8:45 a.m. I had goals and dreams to wake up at 7, but it was daylight saving. Threw everything off. So either way, began my day, unplugged my phone, brushed my teeth, listened to YouTube as I'm washing my face and getting ready for my day. Usually I pick one of the first one or two things at the top. I don't want to spend too much time scrolling around, and I just have YouTube audio playing in the background as I proceed with my morning routine. And right at 8:45 a.m. my phone is at 100%. I don't plan to keep this phone for the long run, but if you do plan to keep your phone for the 7 years that it does support up to, I would recommend going to the setting and ticking the option where it stops charging at 85%. In a perfect world, you don't want to charge your phone up to 100% and drain it all the way down to 0 like I did today. But for science purposes, I did want to use my phone that way so you guys can see how it would actually last. So I spent the first hour just babysitting after I finished getting ready, and I'm taking notes on my phone. I prefer Google Keep to take my notes. It's just very simple, easy. I can take my phone out of my pocket, just start typing right away. I don't like OneNote and some of those other apps. It gets super complicated. You gotta make notebooks and folder. Google Keep is just really fast and simple, and it's always been one of my favorite apps. Samsung Notes is fine as well, but there's no desktop mode available for it unless you have a Samsung computer. I don't have a Samsung computer, so I prefer all Google stuff where I can easily access it on any phone or device. Alright guys, just want to give a quick shout out to my partner Mint Mobile. Currently they offer an unlimited plan for as low as $15 a month. You do have to buy 3 months up front, but overall a great value, fast data. You get unlimited talk, text, and call. Make sure to check them out. Link in the description below. So during the first hour, I am making my coffee, put on some lotion, and even with lotion on my finger, my hand is somewhat moist. I'm still able to unlock the phone really easily with the new upgraded fingerprint sensor. That has been one of my favorite features of this phone. Just little small quality of life improvement. In the past, with any of the other Galaxy, it always takes a few taps because the area is so small. I always miss it and have to re-tap it a few times, but with the S24 it is much more accurate, and I'm able to unlock the phone 95% of the time on one try. And as I'm typing, my preferred keyboard, it's a Swift key. I don't like the Samsung keyboard. For whatever reason, I just keep mistyping things with the Samsung keyboard, but with Swift key, you don't have to be 100% accurate. You just got to get close to the area, and it always works well for me. One of the downside of using the Swift keyboard is that you don't have access to all of Samsung's AI tools, for example, the translation and all their text composition thing. I guess SwiftKey does have its own AI thing as well that is built in, and you can compose. It's not like something I ever really need to use that often, but regardless, even with the Samsung keyboard, the new AI translate feature, it only works within the Samsung messages. So if you want to use it in Messenger, it's not available. Slightly annoying and counterintuitive in a way. I feel like if you want to use these AI features, it should have been built into the keyboard itself and not the actual texting platform. Because if I'm texting with somebody in the US, it is unlikely I'm going to need translation, but I use Messenger, WhatsApp, and other platform. When I talk with my family in Vietnam, it would have been nice to have the translate feature available on there, but it is not, so that's a downside of this. A lot of the AI tricks, it is somewhat limited, and I haven't really found a lot of uses for them other than the AI generative wallpaper. And by 9:40 a.m., my phone dropped down to 95%. 10 a.m., went to go grab a glass of water, fed my baby, snapped a few pictures while he was eating using the main camera, and also Snapchat here and there, sending a few little quick snip to my buddies. At 11 a.m., I hopped into the car and went to my mom's house. Have Android Auto with Google Maps in the background and also music playing. I do have a wireless charger in my car, but the way that I have my setup is I have a baby camera and have a dash cam in front. So I have one cigarette port in the front, and then I bought an adapter on Amazon that made it into 2 ports. So now that whole mess is taking up my wireless charging space, so I can't utilize it. But either way, for the purpose of testing out the battery, I don't want to be charging it throughout the day anyways. And to this day, Android Auto AI summary, I remember Samsung talked about that during the presentation. I haven't been seeing it yet. There's never really a use case for me. I guess when my friend is texting me, they're not, if I'm driving somewhere, they're not changing plans midway while I'm driving, setting direction. It's just a very niche use case, and I don't think it's very applicable. Alrighty, back again, showered and ready to keep recording. Had to pause the video earlier because I needed to take care of the baby. But now we are ready to roll. And just for fun, the first half of the video I was using the Galaxy S22 in order to record. The reason why I was using that is because my S24 was dead and charging downstairs. Now it is nighttime, my S24 is fully charged and ready to be used. At least you can be able to see what the video quality looks like between the S22 and the S24. Let me know if it makes that much of a difference. I won't be able to tell until I start editing, but I would assume the S24 will look better. Either that or it's going to be basically the same. Would not surprise me either way. So by 12 p.m. hanging out at my mom's house, letting my son visit grandma. It's been a while. As she was hanging out with him, I'm just eating, playing some Pokemon trading card game. Sent a few Snapchat to my friends of my baby crawling back and forth. By 12 p.m. phone is at 68%, already dropping pretty heavily. In roughly 3 hours or so, is already down 32%, so roughly 10% an hour, a little bit more than 10% an hour. And as I'm walking around trying to put my baby to sleep, I would play his favorite song, Stand By Me, using YouTube Music. So speakers firing as I'm walking back and forth. 1 p.m. And I never thought I would use circle to search, but I actually found a very specific use case for it. So my mom was video chatting with her family back in Vietnam. They wanted to buy this specific bottle of medicine or whatever it is, and these people are not tech savvy. These people, meaning my mother and my family in Vietnam. So as they are video chatting with each other using Messenger, my family over there is holding up a bottle of the medicine that they needed more refill on the phone. Apparently they can't get over there. A friend of a friend gave it to them. It's only distributed in the US. And then my mom had her phone on a phone mount, and then she used another phone to take a picture of the phone in order to get the picture of that device. I mean, it works in a convoluted type of way, but hey, I guess it's a good thing that I hooked my mom up with 2 phones, even though she can barely use one, but she made it work. So she showed me that picture and asked me to find that product. And so I grabbed her phone, sent a picture of that to my S24, and then I did circle to search and found it on Amazon. Pretty intuitive, just went it, bought it, and now my mom can bring it to Vietnam to give it to them. So pretty cool specific use case. Of course, I can do the same thing with just doing a screenshot and doing Google Lens and getting the same result, but being able to use circle to search is kind of cool. I still find circle search to be challenging to use with the gestures on the Galaxy S24, especially when I was in Messenger, open up the photo, I have to like drag up the home button and then press it down. It takes a few tries. I feel like it might have been quicker if I just took a screenshot and do Google Lens, but I really wanted circle to search to work, so it took me a few tries, but I got it to work and we bought the product. So just kind of a cool case where AI actually does come in handy. It's not something I do every day. In this case, it does work. So by 2 p.m., we are trying to put my son to sleep. We're walking around the building. Phone is at 42% by 2:18 p.m. Just using some Snapchat, texting, light usage on my phone. I'm not watching YouTube or doing heavy gaming all day or anything like that. I'm just walking with the stroller and scrolling on my phone as I'm doing that until my baby falls asleep. By 3 p.m., I am back to my car and driving back home. So once again, Android Auto and also Google Music playing. Phone is not charged. Got home at 3:30 p.m. Phone is at 24%. At 4 p.m., decided to go for a walk and trying to sell this random air purifier that I have around the house to someone on Facebook Market. They said they're gonna be there at 4, went to the destination that we agreed to meet. They did not show up, messaged them again, and then surprisingly, they did come back at a later time the same day. So after that, I did laundry. Phone is at 21%, went for another walk. Okay, so by 5 p.m., the person actually came back. We met up. I sold her my air purifier. And then at that point, my phone was at 3%. I did some heavy gaming between 4 and 5 p.m. playing Pokemon trading card game. And when I met her, she needed change for $10. And unfortunately, I didn't have $10 in my wallet. I only had 20, so I had to Venmo her. And my phone was at 3% battery, so the stress level was rising. Had to pull out Venmo. We scanned QR. I sent it over to her. When it's all said and done, phone was at 1%. And she was having trouble seeing if the payment went through. It eventually did go through. And battery barely just made it, and down to the wire with a Venmo transaction with a stranger at the end of the day. And this concludes 9.5 hours of battery life on day 38 with this phone. So died at roughly 5:15 p.m. or so. And if you still recall, the day started at roughly 8:45, so about 9.5 hours of battery life, give or take. I'm actually shocked how the battery has gotten significantly worse since I first got this phone. This is under somewhat normal usage. I know there's a lot of running back and forth. I guess it's more of a typical weekend day when I'm visiting my mom. If I'm at home, I'm just going to be sitting on my wireless charger as I work from home. But if I'm running back and forth, using the phone sporadically, just Google Maps, Android Auto, speaker music, Pokemon trading card game, some pictures here and there, a few Snapchat. It's not like I'm recording a 20-minute video like I am right now, but it's at the end of the day, test is already over. So surprisingly, the battery did not last that long. I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure if you guys are having a better experience than I am, but initially it was great. Now I just kind of shocked of how much it dropped. But I do see there's an update on my phone, so I'm gonna do that update, see if there's any improvement there, and I will keep you guys posted. And towards the end of the day, the test is already over. I charged my phone for 20 minutes using a 15-watt fast charger because it was the closest one to me. I didn't feel like going upstairs to use my 25-watt fast charger. I also have a couple of spare phones around the house, the S22, the S20, so there's really no need for me to charge it up that quickly and sit there and wait for it. I can just grab something else. Everything's connected by Wi-Fi, so I can just watch YouTube as I'm strolling around the house. And by nighttime, when I went to shower at roughly 9 p.m., I used my Galaxy S20 to shower because it happened to be the closest phone next to me. I just grabbed that. And I noticed when I'm showering, the speaker is not as loud compared to the S24. Of course, it is 4th generation old. And you know, every year, these phones don't really change that much. They are very small updates. But after 4 years, the S24, once again, I would say is a pretty significant update just in terms of little things like the speaker. For example, when I use the Galaxy S20 in the shower while I'm listening to YouTube or music, even water just splashing it on the side causes the speaker to get muffled and I cannot hear the audio anymore. So even though it is water resistant, the speaker doesn't work well around water. Compared to Galaxy S24, water is splashing it and attack is not effective. I can hear everything just fine. I can even use the phone just fine with the Galaxy S24. And so I find that to be a life-changing feature. Even when you're showering, water's all over the phone, you can still navigate and use the phone normally. But with the Galaxy S20, when I'm showering with it and there's water all over the phone, just merely you turning it on is just gonna spaz and go crazy. Same thing with the latest iPhone as well. They don't have that Aqua Touch technology. I don't even know if Samsung even have a name for their Aqua Touch technology. I don't even recall them calling it out during their presentation, but it actually works really well. They spend a lot of the time talking about AI this, AI that, but the best features are the fingerprint sensor, being able to use the phone in water. I don't know what to call it. I'm just going to call it Aqua Touch because that's what OnePlus called their technology. And little things like that just makes a really big difference. So there you have it. This wraps up day 8 in the life of the Galaxy S24. Let me know what your experience has been with the Galaxy S24 after more than a month. Has it gotten better? Has it gotten worse? And let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to cover. Appreciate the time as always. Remember to like and subscribe. Please check out my last video where I talk about 5 things I like about the Galaxy S24 compared to the 5 things I like about the OnePlus 12, which was the phone I have been using previously for the last few weeks or so.